Welcome back. The opposition says the country is currently facing a cash flow crisis and may be heading towards recession if not managed properly. Opposition leader Don Poilier says PNG does not currently have a good inflow of cash and cannot support the repayment of loans and the shortage of foreign currency. He says at the rate the country is going, it may be heading to a point where it may go into recession. Jehabakia reports.
The opposition today called a media conference to clarify its reasons for filing an application with the Supreme Court to have the Parliament reconvene, to enable them to move the fourth vote of no confidence. Leader Don Poilier highlighted some of the reasons why they wanted to change the current government. Amongst these were PNG's increase in debt levels, economic mismanagement and the disallowing of public protests, such as the recent UPNG saga. Mr. Poilier said due to the bad economic management by the current government, the country is now facing a cash flow crisis.
Is that Papua New Guinea is now in a cash crisis. Cash crisis. Every 1 week, Treasury wants to raise money to the tune of 400 million as a Treasury bill. They're raising only 200 million or less than that. The other 200 million, they cannot raise because there's no money in the system.
Quoting a report from the International Monetary Fund, Mr. Poilier said PNG's debt ratio to gross domestic product stands at 57%, contrary to what the government is saying. The government has maintained that PNG's debt to GDP has always been below the required 35%. But Mr. Poilier said as of late, the Bank of PNG has further put this percentage from 57% to 60.0%, which is in no way good for the country. The opposition leader pointed out that the way things are going, PNG is bound to go into recession if nothing is done to fix the problem.
That's the kind of situation the country is going into. It's a serious, serious matter. So you'll find within next 3 weeks or so, I believe that the foreign reserve will have now dropped down below $1 billion US dollars, or that's below 4 billion kina, and it will come down very quick. And you will find a situation that will be escalating out of control.
Mr. Poilier also said the country currently has an import backlog of around 800 million kina. This was also confirmed by BPNG Governor Lloyd Bakani in April. Hence the government's decision to borrow $300 million from the International Finance Corporation to help the three major banks in the country clear these backlogs. Jaheb Akia, NBC National News, Port Moresby.
Eligible voters throughout the country will now be able to look up their enrollment details on the electronic electoral roll lookup page on the new Electoral Commission website. This follows the official launching of the PNG Electoral Commission's new look website yesterday afternoon at its headquarters in Port Moresby by the Chief Secretary Isaac Lupari. Electoral Commissioner Patiles Gamato said the website will have continuous updates up until the 2017 national elections. Again, Jehabakia reports.
Electors can now log on to the PNG EC website and check their names, details and locations anytime and anywhere via personal computers, tablets and smartphones, as long as they have internet access. The Electoral Commissioner said coming close to the national general elections, it is important that voting age citizens know their voting status. 4.7 million voters are currently registered on the website, and this figure is expected to increase once more citizens register.
We will continue to update the information that's there. From time to time we'll post a lot of information so that the public, even our users, can use that and see the updates of what we want to do in preparing for the election 2017.
Chief Secretary to Government Isaac Lupari, who officially launched the website, said the common roll update will be done at district levels, unlike in the past. He says this will also allow for transparency and accountability.
And even we will do the cleansing exercise there. The people will be able to tell us whether this person exists or doesn't exist. This way we need to eliminate this, minimize this inflation that takes place in the common rolls. So we bring it right to the people. We make the people accountable for their own common roll. Something that's different from what was done in the past.
The only downturn to this website is that people in rural areas without internet connections will not be able to have access to this site. Jaheb Akia, NBC National News, Port Moresby.
The last leg of the consultation awareness on the protected areas policy is underway in Alatau, Milembe Province for the southern region. The consultation is conducted by the Conservation and Environment Protection Authority, or SEPA. This new policy aims to have all provinces be more proactive in the push by SEPA towards collectively protecting, preserving and conserving the environment. Priscilla Waikaidi has more from Alatau.
The National Protected Area Policy was endorsed in December 2014 by the NEC, which had directed the Conservation and Environment Protection Authority through the Minister for Environment and Climate Change to implement this policy and to formulate an implementation plan with financial estimates. In complying with this NEC directive, a draft Protected Area Bill was developed and currently regional consultations towards it are underway. Such is the case for the southern region, being held here in Alatau this week, which in fact is the last regional consultation for this policy.
We're taking the policy, the protected area policy out, and also the protected areas implementation plan out to the provinces. For the fact that we have established protected areas over the years, and many of them have not worked because many of them are out in the province. So this workshop is actually taking that the policy out to the stakeholders.
He says the existing processes has about 3 separate legislations which vary with separate processes that are thought to be quite cumbersome, thus this review. Deputy Managing Director of SEPA, Dilu Mugua, in opening the Alatau consultations this week, says what's entailed in this policy is the reclassification of existing conservation areas covered under various conservation acts into national and regional protected areas. They've held similar awareness in Goroka, Lei and Kokopo.
From the analysis that we have had from the responses, they are very happy with it, and we would like to take the legislation out to the provinces to review before it's endorsed.
The workshop in Alatau this week is being attended by environment protection alliances, including local grassroots groups, to those supported by government and many more. Priscilla Waikaidi, NBC National News, Alatau.
High school students from one of Simbu's remote districts will now have access to computers thanks to their local Member of Parliament, Mogere Mawe. The Karamui Soil Nomane MP opened a computer laboratory for the Doliba High School over the Queen's birthday weekend. Way purchased 45 computers which are installed at the high school, and they will use solar power to operate. Enga Governor Sepita Ipetas and Simbu Governor Noah Kul were invited and attended the opening of the facility. Our Kundiawa-based reporter Theo Thomas attended the event and files his story.
Every student in PNG, irrespective of where they come from, must be given equal opportunities to learn as much as possible. Materials and learning aids that help students to enhance their comprehension of various subjects taught must also be made readily available to them. This is the surest way of giving the future generation of this country a head start in life, especially in this computer and digital age. Mr. Essie congratulated Way on this investment and his vision, and says this is all within the confines of the major education development plan of the Provincial Education Board of the province.
Establishing computer lab is expensive. Now is depend on all members will come help me with this plan. Now you accept this plan. Recently, the Provincial Education Board. Now you come out with this plan. And make a big plan. Thank you on behalf of the students. Teachers will have the benefit.
Sir Peter Hippolytus, whom many respect as the father of free education in Papua New Guinea, views this investment as a way forward. The leaders urged the people to look after the computers well so that many more children can benefit from them. Doliba is one of 2 high schools in the remote Karalmui Salt Nomane district of Simbu. Theo Thomas, NBC National News, Doliba.
Stay with us on NBC National News.